all. Welcome to Bakasari Counseling and Wellness Services Center. It's a medical facility, but we also run services for counseling. My name is Violet Basar. I fellowship at AGC Church. I belong to the women's ministry, and what we are doing has to do with the women's ministry because we are taking care of our society and of our families by sharing what we have been skilled in or what God has blessed us with. I'm a trained or skilled psychological counselor of several years, and I thank God for the chance that He's given me to be able to walk with the community through the journey of issues in life or the rivers in life that most of the times we have to go through. And today I'm privileged to talk about teenagers and drugs or substance abuse, which has become a big problem currently in the whole world. And coming back home, we have it whereby it's affecting our families and also performance, even in church. So before I continue, I would want to read something from the Bible, the Word of God, the Bible. Psalms 119, verse 9 to 16. And the Word of God says, "How can a young man keep his way pure? By living according to your word. I seek you with all my heart. Do not let me astray from your commands. I have hidden your word in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Praise be to you, O Lord. Teach me your decrees. With all my lips I recount all the laws that come from your mouth. I rejoice in following your statutes as one rejoices in great riches. I meditate on your precepts and consider your ways. I delight in your decrees. I will not neglect your word." I have divided this topic in three series, but in all the three parts, I'm going to use the same message that that I've just read, because we cannot keep pure without the Word of God. And the young people cannot actually keep pure either without the Word of God. So today we are going to talk about what leads or what makes or causes the teenagers or young people to go for these drugs and substance abuse. Now, I know we have so many reasons, and many times we may blame, because we always have the blame game. But today, let's see and read more about what could be the causes. And most of the causes, we are with them, we live with them, we are the causes, either the teenagers themselves or the society as per se. So the first reason or cause, I've put it as peer pressure. Peer pressure, I think even the oldest generation, we have passed through it. Our days was different, our peer pressure was something different. And as we share, we may discover that each one of us had it in one way or the other. But today, as the subject we are covering, peer pressure to the young people, especially the teenagers, it's all about fitting in. We have children from different social circles in life, and we meet in church, they meet in schools, they meet in shopping malls, they meet in entertainment places, and most of the times you find they will want to learn from each other something. So in the event of all this, you find one could be having an upper hand on the other, either economically or education-wise, or because of the status of the parents. And some could be disadvantaged also because they are from very poor family backgrounds. So in the event of them socializing, you find they tend to fit into each other's shoe, somehow to have a common ground to share things. And because of this peer pressure, you may find one child is exposed, or a few of them are exposed to these substances, or they have been reading about it. They watch in movies, in TVs, programs, and then they talk about it. So the next thing is, why don't we try? And it's all out, to them it's about having the fun of trying it out. Then you find they end up actually using the substance, and with time it takes toll on them. And another peer pressure could be you may find some of the youngsters or the teenagers have been so disadvantaged in their lives that every time they look at others as role models, they look at others as being better, so they want to be closer to them. And by the time they get closer to them, what makes them tick, they may find that it could be because they are using the substances. So in the event of wanting to be like the other person, they also end up using the substances. Point number 2 is about curiosity. And curiosity has always been with us since time immemorial. Whenever there's something new, you will want to find, can I try it? How does it taste? How does it feel? Can I listen to it? Even music, you want to hear exactly what is this all about. So when we talk about drugs and substance abuse, it's all about, what is it? We have the celebrities in music, in the music industry, and also in acting. So most of the young people tend to identify with some of these celebrities, and in the event of doing so, with the time they come to learn that some of them actually act that way because they have used something to make them high. So in the event of all this, they try to experiment. That's just being curious. What would it feel like if I tried to smoke bangi or to use alcohol? And sometimes also it's because of their adverts. When they are advertising something like the cigarettes, they will always show the sleek cars, use women, use young men looking so smart. So the mind that is not well developed will look at it that that's the ideal. And you can only be that smart, that cute, and have that appearance that is appealing by having that cigarette between your fingers and smoking, puffing the smoke up. So that curiosity, you just want to experiment and see. And about some of the drugs, especially bangi, there is a misconception that when you take bangi, it tends to make you think faster, and especially the candidates, they are always told you remember everything you are taught. So they start practicing out of curiosity. And you find that with time, it takes up the whole person, and it becomes a real problem in the society and even in the church. The third point is bonding experience. And bonding is with us. I think most of the things I'll say, because it affects all of us also. We have been there and we are there also. We need to bond in life. So with the youngsters, the teenagers also, they need to bond, and especially when they join new schools, when they move from primary school to second school, when they are moving from second school to college, they need to make friends. Or relocation. You may find that you've been living in Nairobi, and then you have to move to another place or come to Kitale. So young people are always, they explore a lot. They will want to make friends. They make friends very fast. So in the event of wanting to make friends, they may discover that this person is doing something that I don't know. As much as it might be wrong, but I have to be a friend. So in the process, they start bonding, and by bonding, if it's banging, they'll be smoking. If it's cocaine, they'll be pushing. If it's alcohol, they'll be drinking. And with all this, you find that they get the addiction beat, or sometimes also it may become a health problem. So they may end up also in hospitals with complications. So our fourth point is boredom. Boredom, actually, especially at a time as this, with what is happening with the attack of COVID-19, most of the young people, even adults ourselves, are finding ourselves working from home, what people are not used to. All college-going children are not in colleges. School-going children are home. Actually, basically, everybody is home. Something which is alien to the community or the society. And not only here, it's all over the world. So in the process, you find that this is a lifestyle that we are not used to, accustomed to. So you find children have nothing to do at home because they just used to going to school, come from school, you have homework. After homework is sleeping, you wake up, go to school, homework. You only look forward to the holidays when you will have actually just 3 weeks to be home and attend to several things. You'll be occupied. But now the time is just too much for the youngsters. So that is for the current time. But in normal circumstances, there are also children who are bored because either they have nothing to do at home, they have no house chores to do because we have house managers who are taking care of us. We have, if they are boys, we have big sisters who are cooking and doing this and that. Or the parents who just want their children to sit and they do things for them. And some of them also, they are bored because they are used to maybe watching TV, watching movies. And in the event of doing all this, it becomes a bore. So there's nothing else to do. In the process, they want to explore. They want to do something else. So in the process, they get to experimenting something new, and most of them actually get into the drugs and the substances. So it's always good to engage our children. It doesn't have to be anything that is punitive. Let the children have chores or housework given to them, or farm work where there are farms, or even in businesses. Parents or the society, let's engage our children in whatever we do also, so that they are not just staying doing nothing at home. So our fifth point is depression. I know this may arouse questions, how will a child be depressed? Depression actually is with us even with a baby who is hardly a year, depending on the environment and circumstances which you may find yourself. And most of the teenagers go through depression because of what could be happening around them. They have low moods. They could be lacking something. They could have been maybe punished or sometimes also reprimanded in school, at home, within the community because of one thing or the other, performance, school performance, and sometimes also about friends. So they don't have the coping mechanism by saying, let me disengage from what maybe I was being punished for. Or maybe also it could be due to loss. You may lose a parent, you may lose a friend. When a parent also losing a job and it affects you. So all these can lead to depression. And when you are not well guided, or when we don't seek for professional guidance, somebody to walk with you through this moment of depression, most of the times the teenagers will want to escape. And by going to escape, most of them end up using the drugs to make them forget and be happy. So the sixth point is stress. Stress affects all of us, and especially the school-going children we are addressing today, the teenagers. There's so much that is expected out of them in school, both in class, extracurricular activities, and also at home. So lack of coping skills also make them to use something to make them relax. So in the event, you find them taking drugs. Point number 7, low self-esteem. And low self-esteem most of the time may be caused either by, for ladies especially, our bodies, maybe you are fat, you think you want to slim a bit. The boys, maybe you think others are more smarter because more girls are speaking to them. The social aspects affect the teenagers so much, and you find that some of them develop low self-esteem, and in the event, they may use drugs to enhance their moods or to make them feel better and feel accepted. So our 8th point is enhanced experiences, just to feel good, to be enhanced, to feel better about oneself, to be high. And in fact, most of the young people, even the adults who are using substances, will always say, that person is high, I want to feel high. So in the event, you use the drugs. Then the 9th point is now or never. So it's not about experiencing. I want to test it before. Let me have a test before I get responsible, before I get married, before I get a job whereby I'll be watched, I need to be responsible. So you just want, it's about curiosity also, still it falls under here. You want to test and see how much you can feel or how it affects you. The next point is genetics. Genetics is all about family. Genetically, we may inherit, we are predisposed to drugs and alcohol because it's in the family. Either one of the parents has been exposed, a pregnant mother was exposed, or the father was exposed. So in the process, the genetics also tends to pick up the alcohol or drugs content, and the child turns up experimenting, and with time, you end up into the addiction. Finally, I would say also absentee parent and guardian, or absentee church ministers also. We are only with our children 10 minutes and then we take off to go to fend for them. In the church, we are there for 1 hour, then we go home. So we lose track of everything that we need to do with these children. So in the process, they tend to get friends, and as we go backwards to all the points I've said, they'll tend to use most of the points to get themselves feel good, feel better, feel accepted, feel like this is the life that we need to have. So an absent parent and an absent church guidance, ministries also tend to contribute a lot towards our youngsters falling prey or victims to drug and substance abuse. So with that, I think next time we'll cover on what are the signs and symptoms of a teenager who is on these drugs or substances, and our final series will be how do we help them or how do we work with them. Thank you so much. God bless us all. I'm glad you have been watching and you have been listening to me. Be blessed.